What's up, world? It's your boy Tyrone Morgan. I'm coming to you today with part 2 of the Soul Rehab Podcast episode on Deadbeat Dads. Look, I don't want to delay you any. I want to jump right back into the podcast. So get ready, get set, let's go. So that leads me to, I got a couple things about Deadbeat Dads I really want to read off because I think you have to be able to recognize what it really is. So they lack accountability for their responsibilities. Mm-hmm. Something that I do. This is something I don't like. They talk about their mother, their kid's mother to the kids.
Mm. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Neither one.
Ever. Right. Either way.
Either one.
They are selfish and will not sacrifice for their kids. They put more blame on the mother than themselves. They're saying she won't let me come see you. It's always something that she done. It don't matter. Listen to me. If it's worth it enough, you go to court.
Absolutely. You have just as much right as she does.
The judge will give you visitation.
Exactly.
So quit putting it on her and quit telling your kids that mess. Quit creating an environment of what I want to look for. Turmoil, chaos. You're making it chaotic for the child, and the child in a chaotic environment, sometimes they turn out terrible. So let's make sure we don't, remember, it's about the kids, it ain't about us.
Absolutely.
They don't support their kids financially. Something I have an issue with, but I have shifted my my perspective on that a little bit, because I think if you will at least take time up with the kids, that part is beneficial for the child. May not be as much as the financial is, but that time, the child don't really see money. They see time. And so that's what we have to do that for. So to me, Deadbeat Dads hang out with the boys more than they do their kids, something I hate. Don't like that. Do better. You got time to hang with your boys. If you with a group of guys and you got a son, especially if you got a son, why in the world you can't have your son around? He need to know how to interact with other men. That's something that he learns from watching you interact with other men. So make sure you can take him sometime. Now, if you out here doing smoking and drinking, they might not need to see all that, but you can be around your boys without you doing all that.
That's right.
They feel like they doing a favor by keeping their kids. What in the how are you doing?
Oh my God, that's the one. I'm babysitting this week. You're not babysitting your own child. That's your seed. Hello. Your seed. You're not babysitting, dude.
Oh my God.
Put it out. I heard that before. Oh my Lord.
Where's the red flags? I mean, just I don't know what. Let's pop them.
And that's a good red flag for you ladies. If you want to date a man and you know he has children and he say he babysitting this weekend, that's a red flag. Because that's his child. He is not babysitting.
I always say I got my girls.
Exactly.
I always say that because I think it's just it. What do you mean you babysitting your kid? How can you babysit something that you? I don't get it. But anyway, that's one of my rants. I ain't gonna get into it. But this right here is the icing on the cake for me. This is something I do despise, and we just hit on a little bit. They take care of their other girlfriend, kids, and not their own. I hate that with a passion. I've been around guys that will take care of somebody else's kids. And I think if you with the woman, you should help take care of the kids. I'm not talking about that. That's true. But I'm talking about take care of somebody else's kids and will not spend a dime or a second of time with their own. That burns me up. It is totally ridiculous. Because really what you're saying is, it's based on what if I'm with a woman or not, whether I do what I'm supposed to do. So that's still lacking accountability. That's why I want to make sure I add that.
And you just said something very, very key. A lot of these guys will not take care of the children because the mama don't want to be with them.
That's it.
The same way the women be bitter, the men be bitter too.
They do. I mean, I can't. That stuff is because it's ridiculous. You are really taking an adult problem out on a child.
Yes, absolutely. That's
an adult issue. The child has nothing to do with that.
Nothing.
And if we get, which I'm gonna get into some preaching about that mess in a second, but yeah, so I'm gonna leave that for them because we talked about it a little bit in the Bitter Baby Mama podcast when we talk about the intentions of the original family was for the family to be together.
For them to be
together. In covenant of marriage. And I think, I'm finna go deep for a second, but I think some kids don't know their identity because with their mom, it's their first child. With their dad, it's their third child. So they don't know what comes with you know, there's always a birthright. So the birthrights are mixed up, so the kids are mixed up, so they don't know what they are. So I think that's stuff we don't think about. And I know we've done it. I've had a child, I realize, so I'm an owner. But the original intent is for us.
Don't do that.
No, the original intent is for the family to stay. That's why there's always a drawing, whether it's, I feel like there's always some type of drawing to, even with adopted kids, you will see that, you know, they might not have never known they was adopted. When they get older, it's just something different. They just feel it. But it's always, to me, a drawing to your biological parent. And so you want that connection because it's different. You can be loved and you can be shown love and you can be trained, but it's always is drawn to us as parents and as adults. We must make sure that we start realizing that it is intended for us to have children within the covenant of marriage. That's my preaching moment for right this second.
And my covenant marriage child is too late. I'm turning 21 and I'm a grandma and ain't gonna be no more babies coming from here. Just, you know,
disclaimer.
Yeah, that's just a disclaimer.
All right, Stella, you better not be getting your groove back.
Stella ain't got nothing going on. And I mean nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. And let me hit on this right quick too. So I think there's a reason why people are deadbeat dads. So I think some dads think the children is better off without. I think that because they don't have their life together, and they think I would bring chaos to the child, and the child is better off without me in their life. They think the mom is living better than them already. That's another reason.
I've heard that.
Mad at the mother of their child. I mean, they feel they never got over the relationship being strained or whatever it was. Wasn't shown what it is to be a man. Irresponsible, lack accountability, see women as objects and kids as a product of their passion. That means, I made it, you deal with it. Immaturity. A lot of us believe that as we get older, we get mature. That is not it. When you get older, you get older. That's what it is. Maturity is a choice. You choose to be mature. It does not come with age. A lot of times we get some wisdom with age, but there are a lot of old people who are just as foolish as some of these young people. So don't get age mixed up with it. And there's some young people who are more mature than the older people, because I'll be around
wise and mature.
For their age.
At times.
So I think
At times.
wow. Because I believe in season instead of age. If you go, I think if you get a mentor, you become seasoned in some things that you don't have to experience. So we got to make sure we do that. They don't have a job or a vision. A man without a vision for his life would never make decisive moves because he don't even know what he wants. And I think it's dangerous for a woman to be with a man who don't have a vision for his life. But this is another thing that I think they stay out, deadbeat dads stay out. I think they feel guilty after they mature. I think that I ain't being here, kind of like what you was talking. I ain't being here, you know, he grew up and got this side, and now I want to come in his life. He ain't gonna receive it. You know, I ain't done. I mean, I think there's a level of guilt with some, because I know some guys. I've actually had guys tell me that. Like, man, that little dude ain't gonna be studying me, man. I ain't been there when I need him, even though I know better now. So, you know, I feel guilty about it. So, I think we have to make sure we put that. And I'm not making excuses. I'm giving reasons why. And something we talked about last week, bitter baby mothers.
Yes.
They will keep their kids away from their father. So, I think them are just some reasons why. But,
I want to say this. We talked about this too. A lot of times we don't think of what's in the best interest of our children.
Right.
Either way, either side, bitter baby moms, deadbeat daddies, what's in the best interest of your child?
Right.
You hit on something, I forgot what you said. They think they are better off without them, that some deadbeat dads feel that the children are better off. I feel like if you go in the school systems and you ask any child that doesn't have a dad, it's a longing for that biological parent to be there. Every child that I have came in contact has had a longing if they didn't have their father in their life, whether they were good or bad, whether they were in prison or not. Right. They had a longing to know their father, to be in contact with their father, and just the importance of fathers. I think we neglect in our community to see this, and we could. I mean, this is such a deep conversation because we could even take it back to slavery days when, we were separating the families and different things, but that's just a whole nother conversation. But the importance, the ideal, and the structure of families, how we're supposed to have the head, the father as the head, then the mother comes next, and then, you have the children or whatever. But I could say even in my home, even with not having the man, someone has felt like they were supposed to assume the man position because there was not a man. And this is so funny, I think, when you talked about the protection, the sense of security and the protection. I am the head of my household, even though sometimes somebody else thinks they are. That's not paying out now bill. But I will say this, when he's out of town, my daughter, she doesn't feel as safe as when he's in the household. Right. She's checking those locks. She's checking those locks. She's making sure, hey, Mom, did you check those locks? I was like, yeah, that's good. So she goes back 2 and 3 times. Right. But when he's there, she's not checking those locks. Right. Even her brother brings a security to it by just being... Well, he's not a man yet. He's working on it. But he's becoming a man. But what I'm saying is those fathers create that security. Men bring a sense of security. When we look into school systems, a lot of times when a man walks down the hall, it becomes orderly. Oh, yeah. A woman could say something 25 times. Right. I got to say, get up out of that bed 25 times. Right. If my daddy say it one time, he getting up out of bed. So it's just a difference. How many times you said?
He said he up before he said.
The lies he tells, but it's just the order, and I could think of sometimes when my sons were just cutting a fool in school. I'd be like, I ain't going out to that schoolhouse. I send my daddy, and it's a difference. It's the order. I mean, it's the safety, the security. And I want to say this: when that man's not in the home, the house is unbalanced.
Oh, cool. So, no doubt.
I was just going to answer what you were saying because it used to make me so mad. Like you were saying, Draven could be getting in trouble, doing something at school or doing something at home, and I would be upset and yelling at the top of my lungs or just frustrated. I say something 55 times. Here come Mr. Humble Christopher Terrell Cotton. One time. Yes, sir. Okay, Dad. That used to burn me up. But it was as gentle and easygoing as he was. It was something about him. Something about his presence that soothed that child. That made that child become.
And not only that, I think too, fathers create a confidence. That confidence that they give you. It's just funny the difference between fathers and mothers, and now not forsaking anybody's role. We're all important, but just those fathers and how crucial that we're needed. They're needed in the Black community. We're slacking in the Black community with our fathers and our dads, and that's what we're seeing more and more. And I will touch on this, and it's going to make people mad, and I'm sorry, but the government shouldn't have to tell you to take care of your child. The government shouldn't have to put an amount on what you have to pay for your child. And I'll just leave that alone because that'll create so much.
But it's true.
It's the truth. I mean,
I take the responsibility of my kids because I helped create. That's my responsibility.
Let me hold $20.
You're not my child.
Your sister needs
to be a spiritual child. You can be a spiritual child.
Have positive role, positive male people in your life. Let me hold 20.
You got to fill out an application. But anyway.
Let me just go to state employee.
So I did write down some things why I feel kids need a father. So I think it is intended. Well, we talked about that a little earlier. talking about having kids out of wedlock, because I think the house, like you were talking about just then, the house has to be balanced. You know, I think there is a role for the father and a role for the mother, and I think when the kids don't have that balance, and they need to be in the house, the kids get out of the way, so they go one way or the other. But I think another thing why I think kids need a father is boys need to watch and learn what a man is, and girls need to know what a man does.
So how
I think it's
be treated.
It's so important. And I think men don't realize that. And I think when one of the topics we were going to talk about for a podcast was womanizing. But I think, and I believe in my heart, that every man know how he wants his daughter to be treated.
Yes.
And he won't allow his daughter to be treated because he'll tell her everything. And most times he's talking about himself. So if he know how she's supposed to be treated, he know how to treat
a woman. Yes.
He just don't. He wants to teach his daughter. He just won't do what he wants to. So it's lack of accountability. But I think it's very important that boys need to watch and learn what a man is, because it's important to know what a man is, not what he does, but what he is. And a girl need to know what a man does. That's what the father teaches her.
Yes.
You just said something that just made me think that, you know, men will be highly upset if their daughters date a guy or he's aggressive or abusive or something. But my thing is, like you said, then how can you be that way towards somebody else? And don't you even realize that because you, in some cases, sins of the father. What you've done to another woman, your children reap. You have to be careful out here when you're doing stuff like that.
Yes, that's so good.
Yeah, it is. I believe in that myself. I believe that as fathers, I have 2 daughters, and it is my job to set the standard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
My daughter don't see me around a bunch of women. They know the people that I'm around. I treat other. I feel like as a man, you should always learn how to treat women as a wife. Not that they are your wife, but it should always gives you a reference for what a woman is. And I think
he don't treat me and Francis right, but
I do treat y'all.
He treat us right. I'm not gonna go for that. I'm not gonna go for that.
They get mad because I give them smoke sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Because, and it ain't because of the stuff they do wrong. It's the stuff that they do good they won't do. That's what I give them smoke about.
Yeah.
So they can't say no.
Yeah.
Again. But anyhow, let me get back.
Can I say something? You said something about I think when you have that father that does set the standards for you when you start dating, I know sometimes I have some counterfeits that I won't even take around my dad. You know, because I know he was gonna be like, nah, that's negative. You know, because there was a standard he created in me, and so. And a lot of times, a girl or a woman, I often tell my sister, I say, ain't nobody gonna be like your daddy now. Right. So you need to find somebody else. Ain't nobody gonna be like your daddy. But a lot of times we want a man to be similar to our father, to have the qualities that our father has.
I think that's what a man does.
Let me say this. The good quality.
Right.
Because I've had men that had the bad qualities that my biological father had.
Yeah.
Right. The good qualities.
That didn't go well. That did not go well. Jesus.
And I get that is true. I think most of the time, as a father, most of the time the daughters put their fathers on a pedestal, and it's because he Zoe calls herself princess. You know, she had to get that from somewhere. You know what I mean? So somebody poured that. That's what I'm saying. Somebody poured that into her, so now she feels that way. So she knows what a princess is. She knows how a princess should be treated. And so when she get older, she'll expect that. She's like, nah, that ain't how that goes. You know what I mean? But I think as a men, we set that standard.
Yes.
I think a dad usually set the tone for discipline and respect.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There ain't no doubt.
Yes.
I've been around these kids and they be talking to them. I'm like, boy, you don't go. Who you talking to? Bring it back. Cause I do that. Cause like, who you talking to? You know, you. I think that sometimes there's a presence. You know, it's like I was talking about earlier. But that man walking the house, everything different.
Straighten up.
And I remember my dad used to walk in the house. That devil done work 12 hours. My mama go telling him what we done, and he done put in 12 hours of work. He want a whole lot of talking.
Shut up, Uncle Dennis.
Somebody was finna get hit. He laid hands, and we fell out. And it won't in the spirit.
The slain. Yeah, one of the slain.
But I think
you had a whole building. Zach, you had a whole building.
We're not gonna speak on that.
Whole building.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We're not gonna speak.
Let's go. A whole building.
Next.
To get the right hand of fellowship.
We talking about that dads build self-esteem and confidence
Yes.
and resilience in kids. Most of the time, kids teach them how to ride a bicycle, they'll fall, they might get hurt, you pick them up, you got it, let's go. You know, we just keep doing that, we teach them not to quit. My dad used to tell us that Morgan men don't do that. You know, that was one thing, we don't do that. And so I think that's part of the identity that we give our kids. And dad provides stability and support.
You made me think of something else.
I think that is very, because most of the time women are emotional. We know that since the beginning of times. Dads are more laid back most of the times. They don't get in their feelings about stuff. And so when you go to the man, it's like, because that stuff my daughters would come to me and tell me, because they know they ain't gonna get there. What are you doing? I just don't do that, because that ain't who I am. It's like, why did you do that? You know, that why? Tell me why. And that's how I talk to them. But I think it's the stability of that voice and the support that they get. Look, you don't need to do that. Let's do better. You know, and mom, depending on how her day was, what she's been through emotionally for that day, what the dad had said earlier to her that she didn't like, you might get any kind of response. But I think the stability and the confidence and the resilience that is taught by the dad is much needed in our community.
Yes.
That's why I think kids need a father or a positive male role model.
Yes.
So what was your question? I just want to get that out. Did I make y'all forget?
We can wrap it up.
Oh, we can wrap up.
Yeah. We got about 2 or 3 of them.
Do I get in my first closing? We were talking about. No, I'm only playing. So, look, guys, I know we give you a lot of information, but we do want to make sure that we want to express what Deadbeat Dads are, what they look like, so we can show this to the fathers and show why you need it. And now we want to make sure that we continue to be up, because I think that men, especially in the black community, I feel like we have a standard. And I don't think it's as bad as people say, but I think we don't create the environment that the kids need for them to become who they are as men. I think we let the women get too involved, and that's what mothers do. But I'm saying the fathers should be equally as involved in the areas that they need to be involved. And so until we learn how to address that issue, like going to PTA meetings, going to meetings, and I forget them a lot, but the ones I remember I go to, going out, talking to the child's teacher, talking to some of the friends that they have, just being present, you know, not always having to say something, just being present. So, you know, it's kind of like our Heavenly Father, when He's present, we don't worry about a lot of things, and that's what I think the men provides. So I have this, y'all know I'm an acronym guy, right? I give a lot of acronyms. So this is what I think, and I want to say men. I don't want to just say fathers, because they awesome men. And I want to shout out the men who step up and do what the biological father won't do.
Thank you.
Thank you
You
so
are needed. We appreciate you because you do something that you don't really have to. And taking responsibility for what another man won't do is a great attribute, and we want to give you a data boy.
Yes.
So
And that goes for the men that don't have children too, that have rose to the occasions. The coaches out here, the mentors in the community, we appreciate you. Please continue to do that. This is a question, and I do gotta ask you this, Tyrone, real quickly. let's tell them if they have been absent in their child's life that it's not too late.
Well, I
to,
was going to do that.
I think we need to say that too.
Well, do that.
But don't jump in. You know, you're gonna have to. If you've been absent and you wait till they're a teenager, you can't just jump in. You're gonna have to kind of ease in there.
Yeah.
But if y'all want to speak on that, I think that's important.
What you want to go first?
Well, I was gonna say that in my closing is it's not too late. I don't care if you grown and they grown.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out to them. If they're smaller and mom still has custody, you're gonna have to man up and have a conversation with mom.
Pretty much.
If she's a bitter baby mama, you're gonna have to go to court and get your rights, fight for your rights.
Yeah.
But I don't think it could ever be too late. But I do want to say, fix yourself. Heal on the inside, because when you do go to these children, you don't still want to go to them broken.
Right.
Because you don't want to lay anything on them, any of your stuff on them. So heal yourself, reach out to your kids, step in, into the men in the community. If you have children, if you don't have children, if you see a young boy, a young girl, you know, have a conversation with the family, maybe the parents, I don't know. And look, I'm taking my kids to the park. Your son can go, or y'all can go with us or something. It's time for, especially black men, it's time to step up. It's time to step up. We've just gone through this stuff for so long, and I get it. Times are tough, things are hard, but I think if we come together as one, we can get this done.
Amen. So, takes a village.
It does, truly.
So what was the question?
If you have been absent in your child's life, I was basically trying to say, what do you do if you haven't been present and now you want to kind of be present? Right. That was basically the question.
So I agree with her. You have to ease your way back. Mm-hmm. You can't come back, I'm daddy. So I can't remember which movie it was I used to watch, but the Menace Society, that one Menace. Anyhow, one of them, the dad, you know, the mom had a boy. He started he was a teenager and got in trouble, and she gave him to his dad. And you know, the dad, he was in his life the whole while, but she like, look, you need to raise this boy, turn him into a man. And so one thing that I've learned in that is that how he went about it. The very most important thing that I learned that when you come back, you have to make sure that the child knows that you love them. Mm-hmm. And then again, it's like you said, no matter what age, if it's been 25, 30 years, you come back. The big thing that a man have to do as a dad, you have to take accountability. Mm-hmm. I won't there. You know, I didn't do what I was supposed to, but I want to be here now. You know, and you got to deal with the smoke they give you. Mm-hmm. If they want to tell you how they feel, eat it. It's just part of it. I mean, you have to give them a chance to express what they've been through their whole life. Yep. Some kids want to do that, some don't. Some just glad you're there and they want to receive you. Some ain't. Some want to give you smoke. Take it. You just got to. You won't doing what you're supposed to.
Be prepared that they may not ever accept you. Yeah. But at least you
do your part.
Exactly.
You still be dad. You still, hey, you want to be a life star, send a birthday card, whether they say thank you or not. You do what you're supposed to, because you're never too old to be a dad, because I'm going to be my children's dad the rest of their lives. I'm always going to care about what they think and what they do. I might not always agree with what they do and what they think, but I'm always going to care about it because they're my children. And so I think we have to make sure that the absent fathers, we not saying make it easy for them to come back, but I think as an absent father, if you know you haven't been there, accountability is your best friend. Mm-hmm. Don't come in here trying to act like, and like I said, some kids don't care. They just want you back. But some of them want to give you smoke because they feel like they've been cheated by stuff. Take the smoke. That's all. Take the smoke. That's it.
I would say something funny that I had a conversation with one of mine, and he was like, man, he got a smart mouth. I was like, I know. It came from both of us, didn't it? Mm-hmm. I said, as long as you don't tap that head, though. You don't got a right to tap that head. I put that out there. You know, don't come in, you know, being forceful and thinking that you got a right to really discipline when you've been absent, because they're not going to receive it. Yes. So I had to put that out there. Right to the kids.
It is true because I had that same conversation because there was an incident with my son and his biological father almost got into a physical fist fight. Right. And my son was telling him, you have not been here. Somebody else has raised me. And it was like, he was like, well, I'm your daddy. And Reverend was like, nah, bro, you're really not my daddy. This is like literally what he was saying, nah, bro, you're really not my daddy.
The difference between a father and a daddy.
Yes.
A father is what is on the birth certificate.
Right.
A daddy is somebody who's there.
Yes.
So it's a difference. You know, we have to, you gotta take it. I'm sorry, it may hurt.
It does.
But you got, I mean, as a man, it's gonna hurt, you know, to feel like your child disrespect you, but you gotta know it's your fault. You weren't there.
Exactly.
You didn't do what you're supposed to. Take the smoke. That's just what it is. Take it. Get out your feelings. Because you need to deal with what was on the inside of you. So you weren't there. But now that you are wanting to be there, deal with the smoke. It's just part of it. I'm sorry. Hey.
And just because you're ready
doesn't mean they're ready.
You've been absent, that doesn't mean they're ready to receive you at the time. But keep trying. Yeah. And I think that's my main point. Yeah. Just because you're ready and you've been gone for years doesn't mean they're ready to receive you because there still may be bitterness and anger and stuff that needs to be worked through. And there's resources, there's counseling, there's all kinds of resources for that too. And it's healthy to do that, but don't stop trying, I think is my point. Just ease in, keep easing, and keep praying and easing in.
Oh yeah, I think that's true. Very good.
But don't go on forceful.
Doc, do you have anything to add when we close?
Not really.
Not really. Well, we're glad you joined us today. I think you gave us some insight. You did good. We'll have you back on the podcast. We ain't gonna tell your mom. We just gonna invite you, and you just show up. Just hop in the vehicle.
She can give all the evidence to DSS. I got lots of stuff.
So in our final closing, I want to talk about this acronym that I come up with that I think really is how you measure yourself as a man. It's called basics. And the basics is really what it takes to be a man. And the B in basics stand for builders. Not just physical, we also build the people around us by walking with them, teaching and training them, also guiding them along the way. A builder is an action word. It talk does not do it. So that's what I think as a man, we are builders. And the A in basics is authenticity. And that is simply just being who God created you to be. Once you find out who God created you to be, it's a lot easier for you to help not just your children, but the people around you see who they are. Because you don't feel bad about who you are. You accept who you are, so you can see what's in other people. And the S in basics is, the first S is sustainability. And the definition for sustainability is being a method of harvesting or using a resource so that the resource is not depleted or permanently damaged. So when we sustain, we are able to gather what we have sowed to have it invest in the own future of the people that's around us. So we harvest it. That's what it means. We harvest what we sowed for the future of the people that's around us. Without damage to them, let me add that.
Yes.
So, you know, it's like, so for example, what I'm talking about is when you're around and you teach, you know, men, especially character with men, you know, integrity and all that stuff. You know, back in the days when we grew up, word bond was something we said. You know, that means what I say is what I'm gonna stick to. And so I think as we sow that, that was sowed in my life. I believe that. So I like to stand on my word. If I say it, I'm gonna do it. Even when I can't and don't want to do it, I'm still gonna do it because I told you I've done it. And so what that does is that invests in the future of the people around me. So then they can trust me as a man that he said it. He gonna get it done. He might need some reminders, but he gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Calendar.
I got you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get it done. But anyhow, the I in basics is integrity. That's something I was talking about. And simply put, integrity is to do what's right, even when people ain't around.
Amen.
As simple as you can get with integrity. So, again, I just talked about being a man of your word, having pure intentions and motives behind what we do. That means whatever I do, it is to benefit the people around me, not for me to just get something from it. And the C in basic is creators. Inside of every man is a seed to create. not just procreate. We just have to find it and develop it.
Amen.
Again, one of the first things that you see about God in the Bible is He is a creator.
Yes.
And if we are made in the image of God, we have the ability to create.
That's right.
Not just procreate, it's a different create. Right. So what it is we are individuals, we are a masterpiece. There's only one of us, we're one of a kind, we're not cookie cutter. So God put something on the inside of us that He wants to get out. And we only find it when we hide or we get in the environment that He is in. And the final S and basics is security. Is what is needed in a healthy environment to grow people. Once you're in an environment and you feel safe, you feel like you can be yourself, you're able to talk, you're able to get things out. And so security builds an environment that really grows people. Once you're in an environment that you know you love, no matter what you do right or what you do wrong, they gonna love you the same. It makes you you're able to grow because you don't feel like I've been around people and I feel like I gotta have a guard up all the time. And when I'm around people that I can be myself and not worry about what they think, I'm much freer, I'm much happier. So, I think that's what men provide. We provide that kind of environment because most of the time we're not as judgmental about things because we really don't get in our feelings about a lot of stuff. And so with the protecting, the 3 P's is what I call it. Presence, protected, and provide.
Yes.
That's what men do. And we provide that environment, our families, our communities, the jobs, everything around us can grow. So it's an environment thing. So let's make sure we provide an environment of security for the people that's around us.
Amen.
As men, stick to your basics.
Okay.
So
Yes.
now we have reached the end of the podcast. And if you ain't got nothing else out of it, just know that I am Tyrone Morgan. I'm just being funny. I know they were gonna say something. But no, we thank you for tuning in. We hope we have said something. We hope we have given you something to think about because part of the thing that I believe that God has put me on the face of this earth for is to cause people to think. I think once we think for ourselves, we become less followers and we become more doers. Because it's hard to think like somebody else. That's something that I have in my mind. And I think as men is we get mentored and we pull what's out of a man to make sure he becomes the man that God created him to be. And so with this podcast, that's the intentions of that. I'm sure somebody said something to make you laugh because laughter is great medicine.
Yes,
it is. That's great medicine for the soul. That's what I was trying to say. Thanks for the backup. But
I got you.
I have nothing else left to say. And in closing, we always tell you, peace
out
and be well. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tyrone Morgan. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this second part of the episode of Deadbeat Dads on the Soul Rehab Podcast. Look, we really appreciate you. We really want to add value to your life by having difficult conversations so we can come to a resolution. I believe a conversation we won't have will lead to a solution we won't come to. A conversation that we don't have will lead to a solution that we can't come to just because we're scared to speak on things. And so we just like to take some tough topics and just have a conversation about it. Our opinions not always right, but they are our opinions. So we, again, thank you for tuning in. But I really want you to do something special this year for a man in your life, whether it's your husband, your real dad, your stepdad, or your step-in dad, somebody that's a male that has been positive in your life, and do something for them. Because this is the thing, a lot of times the weight of a household lies on a man, and the weight of the world lies on the shoulders of a man. I'm not chauvinist, but I'm just telling you that's the order that God has given us to follow. And so we have different responsibilities that can be quite weighty because we're designed to carry that stuff. So what we need is sometimes encouragement, affirmation. They're doing a good job. Even if sometimes you don't even really believe it, you want to build them up. Speak to the king that's inside that man. Yeah, let's do that. Even with your little boy. And so I just really want us to do that because it's getting ready to be Father's Day. I mean, June is Father's Day month. You know, sometimes we get neglected, but I want to make sure that we shout some of them out because some of them are doing some great and amazing jobs, and some of them are doing it in bad situations. And the ones that don't, look, the men that are doing what they're supposed to, let's encourage the other ones. You know, we don't bash. We like to edify, build people up. And so we just want to give you some pointers, some things that would make us think you are, so you'll see a deadbeat versus a real dad, so we can know which path we need to get closer to. So before I go, I just want to reiterate this thing because I believe men should stick to the basics, which is an acronym. If you know, I love acronyms. And the letters of the acronym, the B stand for builders. I believe men are builders. Authenticity. I think you being who you were created to be will make it a whole lot easier to be the man that you're supposed to be. Sustainability, which is you're able to sustain something based on your decisions and the things that you do. Integrity. It is the I. Integrity. That means I am who I am, even when nobody else is around. Very important. Very important. And the C is creators. We are creators. The seed of creation is in every man, not just to procreate, but to create. And the S is security, which is what we provide. We provide a secure environment for the family and the communities that we're a part of. So, with nothing else I have to say, thank you for tuning in. And as always, peace out.